So how to pressurize that base? What we're going to do is we are going to switch to the mining belt and we're going to equip the drill. Now, since the changes in 2022, it's not safe to just take that oxygen cylinder off there and empty that into the base to pressurize it. It used to be the recommended approach, but it's no longer safe to do that because pure oxygen atmospheres are a fire risk, which is something you really don't want to deal with this early in the game. Well, you really don't want to deal with at all. However, the good news is we have a new ice called nitrice that was added in August 2022 that we can mine. It's a kind of greenish colour, and that is nitrogen bearing, which we can use to generate pressure. So we will go and mine some of that, and if we press 5 we can see how much we've got. Now, I reckon we need about 50 units of nitrice to get sufficient pressure for the base of the size that we have built. So we've got 54 there. We can also save that oxygen cylinder for refueling the suit. We can actually mine some oxide, which is the bluish one, which will provide us the oxygen we need to breathe in there. And 24 is about the right number. So right click to turn the drill off, double tap F to put it on the belt, and then it should be a question of move inside, cancel the pressurize because there is no pressure, stand inside, move the ice from your belt to your hand and you'll see it starting to melt and particles showing air movement. Make sure you're standing in sunlight. If it's night time you may need to wait. The ice won't melt in a vacuum in the dark. You can melt both of those together and watch the external pressure rising quite rapidly. We're targeting 100 kPa as the correct pressure, so it's going up quite well, and we'll let this finish melting. In the meantime, you can actually test the atmosphere. You can drop the ice, by the way, but notice it will roll around in the air currents and it can smash your suit, so just be a bit cautious doing that. That's melted before it hit me, so that was quite lucky. So whilst we've now got 80 kPa of pressure in here, so we could possibly take a little bit more, we need to check the composition. So take the tablet. If you then grab the atmosphere analyzer card, you can plug that in by dropping it on it. Right click to turn the tablet on, and you'll see what we've got in here is now an atmosphere at 65% nitrogen, 27% oxygen, which is good. However, we have got 7% of nitrous oxide, which is not great. There are two problems with nitrous oxide. One is it's an accelerant, so in the event of a fire, the fire will burn faster and hotter, which obviously we don't really want. The other problem is, whilst in theory I can now open my suit, and I'm going to just go and do that, I need to unlock my helmet and open it. You'll also see down on my vitals on the bottom right hand corner that my torpidity has immediately jumped to 2%, and that's because nitrous oxide is actually an anaesthetic, so we don't want to be breathing too much of that for too long or we will pass out. Although that said, it's sitting at 2% at the moment, so that's obviously not life-threatening, but if that level gets too much higher and that starts to rise, you can quite easily pass out, and obviously if you pass out with your helmet open in an atmosphere of nitrous oxide, well, good luck waking up. You'd also see, because I'm exhaling, that the CO2 levels are starting to rise. When we want to grow plants, we'll need some CO2, and there's a real quick way we can inject a bunch of it into the atmosphere in the base. If we open our suit and we select the waste canister, I'm holding down the Alt key to do this most easily, and you'll see that gives us the option to open it. So if I open that and vent, we've got 2592 kPa of CO2 in there, so a reasonable amount. Once it comes out into this room, it will give us a little pressure boost, but also you'll see that's now given us not a huge amount, but half a mole of CO2 in there, so that's going to be helpful to the plants. Now, I haven't passed out yet, I'm still okay. It's not ideal growing conditions. It's only 11 degrees in here, but when the sun comes up it will start to warm up. So I'm going to just close all these windows and then turn off the tablet and stow that. And that's a pressurized hab.